fuck around and see it, cause you know I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Web3 breakfast, serving size like Texas. I'm a beast, yeah, baby. You know I'm reckless. We stacking blue chips, my people by the dip. Matt Black Lambo coming soon. Don't forget, sign the check.
Web3 breakfast. Fuck a Lexus, push a Maserati, keep a diamond Jesus on my necklace. I'm living reckless. Fuck a job, cash the check, grab the bag, hit the flight, we on the next one. Wife changing money, just ask my honey. Got a diamond on my face, I can't help it, I'm new money.
Web3 breakfast, wake and bake, appreciate the checklist, moderate the stage, perplexing everything you say, and not to mention, fuck, I think I rug. Maybe I should shrug it off, go touch some grass, perhaps some plug.
Web3 breakfast,
Web3 breakfast.
Web3 breakfast. Yo, what's happening? How's everybody doing today? GM fam, it is Friday. Thank goodness it's Friday. TGIF, mother chuckers. Hope you had a great week. Hope you stayed busy. Hope you had a lot of, adventures going on. It was like a split week, right? There was a little bit of action going on Monday, which was a weird, and then we had the holiday, and then we had a short 3-day week, because it definitely Wednesday felt like a fucking Monday again. But now it's Friday already. I feel good about that. I feel real good about that.
Pizza party Friday. Pizza party, bro. Pizza party.
Ooh.
I'm so happy. Like, it's pizza day.
I know this is like the first thing that I think about every Friday when I wake up. It's like, oh, what day is it? I'm alive. This actually, so the first thing I think about when I wake up is, oh yeah, I'm alive. I made it. I woke up, and then I think, oh, what is today? And it's like, on Fridays, it's like, oh shit, it's pizza day. Hell yeah. And I'm definitely excited about that. And then I get on, I pick up my phone and I start looking at, did I get any text messages overnight? Did I miss any phone calls? That kind of thing. So I don't know what your order is, and let's go through that, guys. Anybody, if you want to be a part of this part of the conversation this morning, what is your order of information that you give to yourself in the morning? So I wake up. I will first check the text messages to see if I got any text messages, any emergencies. Because when I fall asleep, I fall asleep. Nothing really wakes me up unless I'm having a wrong Hertz music kind of night. So it's check the phone for the text messages, and then I will check the crypto portfolio, and then I will start looking at floor prices for certain collections, and then I will get into Twitter, because Twitter takes the most amount of time, and so that's the routine. And then I will probably, I think my first message of the day that comes from me, I've got some of the ones that I load them through the tweet deck, but the GM tweet, in my opinion, has got to be the first one to get fired off from the account before you start GM and becoming a reply guy. You got to send your own GM out so that the reply guys can reply on that. Does that make sense? I hope so.
Yeah, man, most definitely. I mean, I feel that. That's when I first wake up in the morning, it's complete chaos because I don't know where I'm at. Because I really feel like every time I wake up, I'm like, dang, was I just dead? Now I'm alive. So then I grab my phone and I text all of you guys. I start sending out all my good morning text messages because I want you guys to know, like, hey, yeah, I'm thinking about you. Hope you're thinking of me. And usually there's already a GM tweet there from 7 or you, because you guys get up like super early. I'm the last one up every morning. But one of these days I'll beat you guys up.
Nope.
And then I go. Maybe it's I'm gonna start drinking more coffee. I think that's the trick. I think that's what I have to stay up
all night to wake up before me.
Yeah, that literally is not happening. 0% chance. I was gonna say the same thing, 7. Like, yeah, that's you clearly are just gonna have to stay up all night. If you want to GM either of us first, you got to be up all night.
And I am the youngest, right?
I can literally see it in your eyes when you're about to go to sleep, Turbo. Like, I literally can see your eyes.
It's such a shame. It's such a shame. Golly.
Oh, that's too funny. So are you the oldest of the three of, or the youngest of the three of us? I'm not sure. I know that I'm older than you. I'm 41. I was born in April of 1982. 7. What about you?
I am 37, born in June of 86.
Okay, so Turbo, you're
he's like 5 days older than me. He's 5 days old. No, he's 5 days older than me because my birthday's on the 11th, and so he just turned 37.
Okay. KT, what's
what's up?
what's the order in which you consume information in the morning? Is it do you check your phone for like messages, emails? Do you go straight to the Twitter? Do you check the portfolios? What's your 1, 2, 3? What do you do in that order?
My 1, 2, 3 is the coffee machine.
No. KT,
I'm just messing. I'm just playing. I usually, I actually hit the Twitter first just to see who's messaging me. I don't like hit the full blown Twitter. I just look at the Twitter messages and responses really quick. And then I see what's going on in the universe because my dad invariably calls me almost every day to talk about something that happens in the world that he saw on the news at night. And then I usually get back on Twitter to see what's going on, to see who's where. But portfolios, I just let it ride because there's not much in there right now.
He's a hodler. There you go. So Twitter, phone call, Twitter. I like that. Craig, GM fam or GE to you, Craig, our friend down under.
I forgot. 1975 on the birthdays if we're throwing those down too.
Okay.
God, I feel like a grandfather.
You're not a father.
I love you, Craig.
I am the oldest man here.
I love you, Grandpa.
I am
Grandpa Craig.
I am a 71 baby. So there you go.
I thought you were about to say that you were 71. I was like, what the fuck, Greg? You're not 70. Your profile picture looks like you're definitely not that old.
We could have been in high school together.
Catfish.
Now, I have been blessed. I will say this. I have been blessed to be a very active sports person at a very high level for a long time, till I was like mid-40s. So I kept fit. And so whilst I am feeling every part of my 51 years on this earth right now because of all the injuries and surgeries I've had from sport, I still have maintained quite a reasonable fitness level. So I don't feel 51, put it that way.
Okay.
But I'm gonna digress back to your question, and I'm gonna say my 3 things I do first is Discord. I check all of the community first and see if there's any tickets, support tickets, or if anybody's raised anything over the time I've been asleep. I do LinkedIn second because that is, to me, more of a business platform than Twitter. So I do all the business stuff through LinkedIn, and I have 30 or 40 different newsletters, Web3 related, on there that I read if there's any posts before I go to Twitter and do my Twitter DMs. And like KT, I always do DMs first. That personal interaction to me is so much more important than just a tweet on my timeline. So I always do the personal interactions in DMs first. Then I go and check my timeline and see if I've been tagged in anything or anything like that. So,
I love
but also like KT, nothing starts without my coffee.
No, I'm right there with you. Definitely. Well, let me ask you a question. Okay, so we're gonna get a little personal, guys, because I'm right there with you. Like, nothing happens. The brain doesn't work before the coffee hits. But do you go to the don't you go to the bathroom before? Like, immediately I wake up, go to the bathroom, and then go downstairs and make coffee. So I have to use my phone before I have coffee. That's just how it works. That's the order. I didn't want to put that into the whole story because I thought that was a TMI thing, but I literally am not making coffee until I go downstairs, and I'm not going downstairs until I go to the bathroom.
So I go the other way. I put the coffee, get all the coffee squared away. I put the machine, turn it on, then go to the bathroom, so that by the time I'm out of the bathroom, the coffee is already done.
Oh.
And then I just go put the coffee in the cup, and I'm off to the races, and I save myself however long I was in the bathroom in addition to the coffee time.
There is nothing worse. That's smart. And I like the efficiency thing there, because there is nothing worse than when you want your coffee and you're just standing around waiting for this thing. And for whatever reason, I have a habit of picking really slow coffee machines. And so sometimes it's just painfully slow when you're like, just pour. Now I do now have one of those ones where you can take the pot while it's still brewing, and it's not going to make a mess. It'll just fill up the thing and then whatever. So that to me has been a godsend, because you just wait for enough to get it. But if you do that, I'm gonna tell you one thing right now, that shit is strong. That is the one that gets your hands sweaty. If you take that first cup where it does not get diluted from the rest of the pot, that's a good one. So
one additional cheat code, I guess. I got it at Walmart. It's a Black & Decker coffee machine. It makes exactly the same volume of coffee as one of those tall aluminum tumbler coffee mug things with the metal straws on top. They have exactly the same volume. So I fill it and I put the whole pot in my coffee cup and I'm done. One time. And there's no extra, there's no waste, there's no cleaning, there's no nothing. It's just done.
There you go. You got this thing down to a maximum efficiency. Go ahead, Craig.
Does KT sound like he's talking through an empty toilet roll?
Yes.
To you guys, yeah.
But it comes in waves. It comes in waves.
It does. Yeah. It goes echoey and then back in and echoey and back in. Yeah, in and out.
Is it doing it now?
It just does it. I don't know if it's the position of your microphone. It seems like sometimes it's too far away and sometimes it gets right up close.
Oh, the my air conditioner is right behind my head in my house for the living room, and it sounds like background noise, and I think it's trying to cancel it out.
Oh, that would that sound canceling stuff, which we found out ruined an entire space for me once. I had my phone on the sound canceling, and so it wasn't it like it was like cutting like everything except for like the bass beat out, or I don't know, some stupid thing.
Is that better?
Yeah, that sounded better.
That's it. It was the air conditioner. Thank you very much for helping figure that out. It explains why I've been having problems since I put the damn thing in.
Like we can hear you. We can hear you the whole time. It just goes like you're talking close and then you're talking far away. But we can still make it out.
I like your description. Does he sound like he's talking into like a toilet roll tube?
Sorry,
bro. I was thinking the same thing. Like I was just imagining KT sitting there, and just like putting it up to his mouth and taking it away. And like he's just sitting here with this tube. It's like, oh man, they figured it out.
So the funny thing is, that's a Craig and I generation actual childhood play thing. When we were kids, we would take the paper towel rolls because they made a better sound, and you could sound almost like Darth Vader if you talked through it. That was the thing from when we were kids.
Yeah. And so what is it from? Was it Tommy Boy where you learned how to, when you talk into the fan, was the Luke?
Oh no, that was my dad. He showed me that. He was like, it was an old metal crappy fan too because it gave you a better tone. It was awesome. The big box fans bite though; they hurt.
Yeah, have you guys ever seen a fan from KT's time? Like they're huge metal blades with
no cage,
not a lot of protection.
Yeah, and it had this big like a fan belt thing tied to 4 people that were in this big wooden cage, and they had to walk in turns so the fan moved.
All right, no one believes that. Just so you know, no one is going to believe that, KT. Yeah. That's a little too primitive. We know that you're not 5,000 years old.
Now you do know, Jay, that is where the treadmill comes from. It is literally like it was a huge circle, and they would put people on it, and they would like chain them to the bar, and they would have to walk on the tread, and it would run a mill, right? And that's where they put prisoners and slaves and stuff. And so that's why they call it a treadmill. That's where the treadmill comes from.
Interesting. We call it the hamster wheel.
That is real.
I hate that. Listen, I hate running with a passion. And the treadmill is probably the easiest place to run. For whatever reason, running outside doesn't work for me. I just don't like it. And so if I've got to run, I will run on a treadmill, even though I don't like it.
So question, flat treadmill, curved treadmill, or those funky ones where the left and right go up and down?
I have no idea. Just a regular treadmill on an incline, probably.
Okay. Yep.
I've never seen a curved one. I bet that thing probably works your legs pretty hard.
What you gotta watch the athlete videos, the ones that are like the sprinters, and some big name soccer players and whatnot. There's videos of them going in there and doing like 22, 23, 24 miles an hour on a treadmill. It's insane.
Crazy. Anybody else here? We got, I know up on stage, we got American, we got Grateful, we got 7 that have not given their the little morning routine and how you digest information. If you are, interested in giving those, informations up to the community, please go now. American, if you want to go first, you can.
Let's do it. I always start out with going through my Web3 dApps, collecting my tokens, activating my mining, checking in at Upland, getting my daily check-in bonus, checking in on a few other games, and then I move into receiving info. So I gotta get that rolling and out of the way so that because I do a lot of little mining of tokens on my phone, from B to Ego Inu to Pi, you name it. So that's the very first thing I do. Then I jump into Twitter. I go through a few different accounts that I manage and try to catch up on what's going on, any last minute news. And then because we host a show during the weekday, first thing at 9:30 a.m., I try to get ready for that. And so that's my morning 1, 2, 3.
Nice. That's you got to have your morning routine. It's what I'm a routine guy. I know that about myself. I love having a routine. It kind of keeps me on track. Grateful or 7. Do you guys want to? And anybody else, if you're down in the crowd and you're like, "Ooh, I just want to tell everybody what my routine is," because maybe you do something
Grateful,
different.
go ahead.
Haven't heard anybody say, "Hey, first thing I do is roll over, grab the Blunsky, and hit it, wake and bake." Hey, if that's what you do, that's what you do.
Go first, Grateful.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Financial Freedom Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Pizza Day.
Happy Pizza Day.
Yeah, so I used to be religious with the Wake and Bake, actually. Not so much right now, but I do have a volcano. The volcano is definitely the way to go. Fill up the bag, get ready. But usually when I first get up, I have a very old house, so our floors make noise. I love old architecture and everything. Our house is like 130 years old. But I try not to wake up my kids because they sleep like baby birds, man. Like, if I make any noise, then they're up, and they already have like an internal clock. So it's been a little better in the summer because they stay up pretty late now. But I usually only drink coffee in the winter when it's cold. Unfortunately, I've had a strong addiction to white monsters for like multiple years.
Those are the best.
Are crazy, man.
The best.
Yeah, they're okay. So if you have experience with white monsters, can you agree or disagree with this, that you can drink them every day? Well, first of all, there's 0 sugar, 0 calories, so you're just getting like caffeine and then a bunch of other poisonous chemicals in it. But you can drink them every day because they do not have like a flavor. Like, I've asked many people to try and pinpoint this, and nobody can. They don't taste like anything. So you can't overdo it and get sick of them because they don't have a taste. Like, what's your opinion on that?
Listen, there is a flavor to that blue monster that, honestly, of any energy drink that I've ever had, I had every flavor of Bang you could imagine. Rain's a good one. I think the white gummy bear is a pretty decent flavor on that one. Little sweet, but I'll tell you what, that white monster is literally the best flavor energy drink I've ever had in my life. Now, when I left the Hit Network last year, at that point, which is probably, health wise, it probably was a good thing for me, because I was consuming at least 2 bangs a day and then probably a monster as well. Or sometimes it was like 3 monsters. The whole thing was I could never have 3 bangs in a day. That would keep me up. That was the threshold. I could never do 3, but 2 was no problem. And with the amount of shows we were doing and everything like that, you kind of just needed that to happen. But I have honestly since, and that was maybe October of last year, I've probably, you could count on one single hand how many energy drinks I've had since then. And I feel like that has probably improved some part of my health to some extent, because I was definitely like going way overboard. I mean, we even like reached out to Bang to get a sponsorship, and I guess a bunch of aging dudes wasn't really their target demographic for for marketing. We tried.
Yeah, but now that you're a rapper,
hey,
we can always go back there, bro.
Rappers are ageless, buddy.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Let's write a Bang rap.
Oh my god, we can. Oh no, I have a beat I can send you that has Bang in the background. My morning routine is actually just I wake up and good morning everybody, obviously. at some point in time. But I eat something as soon as I wake up, just because I know I have to force myself to eat, because if I don't, I will forget.
I feel that.
And then I usually listen to about every Web3 song I can, just because that's what I do. And then I sit at the desk and listen to my own stuff, and nitpick it as much as possible. And then usually that's about the time I get either you or Turbo in the chat, and we just start our day.
There you go. And then, and one of my favorite things is to get into the Web3 breakfast community chat and just to see what kind of debauchery either has happened overnight, because sometimes that thing will run into some crazy conversations, or just where we're at. But I tell you what, we have a lot of fun in there. So if you guys do want to if it's your first time being here in the show, we do have a private DM chat in here on Twitter. So if you want to be a part of that, just let us know. You can go down to the bottom right, hit that retweet button. While you're down there, just retweet the space. But yeah, just drop in the comments. Hey, add me in the group. Because we're adding people. We had someone drop out the other day. I don't even know how that person got added, by the way, but I saw that someone left. But then they DM'd me wanting to I don't know, collaborate on something. So I thought that was funny. They left our group and then want to work together.
Was it when you said I was fired?
No.
And maybe that was
no.
Okay.
I don't think so, because you got.
I remember it's strawberry milk tea, right? Because I was like,
yes.
Who is that?
Yes. Yeah, it's a friend of Kayla. And if we remember, Kayla, she came in the conversation, I think a week or 2 weeks ago, something like that. Super impressed with, how that conversation went. So from what I understand, she's a friend of hers, and, maybe she just got added to the group without knowing what it was. But I'll reach out and talk to her, because there is probably some collaboration that her and I will get to at some point, because that's my whole goal, is to literally start collaborating with as many people as possible. This is the time to do it, because we know we are literally on the edge of the markets making a turn. And speaking of, yesterday I put out a tweet that the NFTgo.io market sentiment had taken an absolute shit. We were at, today's Friday? I think on Wednesday we were at 30. And then this morning, it's dropped down even lower to 16. So while I understand that this isn't an end-all be-all on where we are in the market, and no, NFTs are not dead, literally, I just find this to be really more of just an opportunity, right? Like, if you look at some of our favorite blue chip collections, floor prices, they're back to where they were, like, well before the run started, several years, or, a couple years ago. Like when you think about, like Bored Apes or Mutant Apes, or like even a kid called Beast right now, like, fuck, those things were, hovering around an ETH and then a little bit lower on some of the floor models. And now that shit's like about to hit 0.29. So like, no, NFTs are not dead, but really what you got to think about is you got the dry powder on the side. Like, this is your chance now to get into a collection, or at least make an investment. Like, if you're holding a bunch of crypto and you want to do something different, or you want to get into that NFT, like, this is your time. I mean, volume is down almost 26% today, down to 3.6 thousand Ethereum in the last 24 hours. Again, the sentiment at 16. You know what, or Turbo, you know what? I don't want to say it scares me more, but we're using that 30-day profit and loss metric as kind of where we can gauge we're at in the market. And it's always been a huge imbalance of people in the loss right now, but that number is actually growing. So we're seeing more and more people in the loss on the NFT side of things. Like, at what point do we start to see this thing change?
Well, I mean, I was actually thinking something a little bit different than that question, and I'll kind of swing back to it, because I was kind of more at the place of like, where no matter what, one day this moment in time is going to be history, right? And these collectibles, and like, it'll come back, right? Like, it's all the whole, like, the flow of it, right? Like, how it will come back. I'm looking at it more as a time of just collecting things that I wasn't able to get at the time. Mm-hmm. Right, like, looking at sneakerheads, some of these bigger projects, and not even that they're doing anything now, but just that there was a time when, like, sneakerheads was crazy, and I worked my ass off and didn't get in, and now I got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like the art. It's something.
Is it this one?
Yeah. I don't know if they're coming back or anything, right? But it's just something for me. Like, I love the art, and now that I'm a sneaker guy, you know what I'm saying? It'd be something I'd collect. Now, will that one day this be worth something? Yeah, probably. There was a whole lot of stuff around that, project back when it first came out. I think that a lot of these will, do things in the future and stuff. So, hi, Tilly.
I would, I would say that is the $1 billion question for most people right now, right? Is, which ones of these collections are going to come back, which ones not, and which ones are. And I think that, you got to take a look at, where the community's at. And I, things can change in a freaking heartbeat. And we all know that, but you got to take a look at the communities and, like, where's active development going? Where is, a positive sentiment going? Where those are the perfect recipes for projects that are going to withstand however long of this build market that we've got left, right? Which, in my opinion, like, we have to start swinging the other way, because, what's in line of the Bitcoin happening next year, in the springtime next year, like, we will always see a little activity ramp up towards that. And so I fully expect, maybe we have a cool off in July, maybe even part of August, but once we get into September, October, November, like, we are going to see activity pick up. It just has to, because that's, the history, the trend is our friend. History doesn't repeat, it rhymes, or whatever these sayings are. But we have to pay attention to the timing of, because it's all math. Like, Bitcoin is math with the halvening cycles. And so, that being said, like, we know where this is going in a specific time frame. So let's just pay attention on that time frame, and knowing that as we get closer to the end of this year, like, the activity, the volume, things are going to pick up. We know that games are coming out. With the games, they're going to bring a lot of attention. This whole thing, I don't know if this is actually legitimate or not, but I had saw somebody post something about, and we're going to talk about the Threads app today, because I want to talk about social media. We've talked on this show about how social media is probably, or it should change, right? Especially Web3. We go to maybe like more community engagement hubs, where it's we're joining up in these communities together with the people that we want to be, not so much worried about the random people spreading the FUD and the misinformation, all that stuff. Because I think social media, what we see, is dying. Now you look at Facebook or Meta or whatever the fuck it is, Instagram, whoever put out this Threads app, basically it was a shitty copy paste of what Twitter is, has less, options and utility and whatever. Very rudimentary. There's no DM. You got to go, over to Instagram for that. Like, what's the point of a shitty copy paste? Like, we should be constantly evolving and upgrading. Why would we accept this as something that, that would work for us in a social media world? Because in my opinion, it doesn't. And that's the conversation I want to get into today. Go ahead, Jerome.
No, for sure, man. It just kind of wrap up that last piece there, because we are getting ready to come up on that workout time. Is that Yuga assets. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, bro, they're in a realistic striking space for people. You know what I mean? I think that they're always going to do something. So to just put it all together, if you are in the NFT game, it's down. You know what I mean? Go get those things that you want. Kid Called Beast, definitely collecting them. There's some of the ones that, for me, man,
like
that's it.
Like this right here, like the codas, right? Codas for the other side, like, yeah, like, who knows when the other side is going to be ready? But I can tell you what, like, when I minted my coda, I had an offer for 40 ETH on it, and I didn't take it. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought it was going to keep going up. Obviously, things have gone way down, but 4.49 for a floor coda right now, like, knowing that these things are going to play a very big role in the other side when it does roll out. And we understand that the other side, is a part of Yuga, and they are the premier brand with the Bored Apes and all that stuff. And like you said, going down to like 30 something ETH, like, that is within striking distance for a lot of people. 100 ETH is not, but within 30, if you've, you trade, you hodl, you do what you need to do. Like, that is something that now it is more in reach. Or a mutant, right? Like, mutants are like 5 or 6 ETH. Like, those fuckers will be like 20 to 40 ETH, no problem in the bull run. So let's get to a hand.
I know.
Grateful, what's your hand?
Yeah, so I'm not, I dabble around and pay attention with NFTs and everything. I'm more of just like kind of paying attention to charts in that market specifically. But I just had a question because like, you and Turbo are more, you're deeper in the NFT world than I am, I believe. Does anybody know what the deal is with that new Azuki mint that was like 2 ETH mint? Because I saw some people tweeting about that, and I'm like, that sounds like the biggest money grab I've ever heard of. Like a $4,000 mint. You guys know about that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. They made about I want to say they made about $40 million in 15 minutes or something like that. They minted their whole collection out. To me, I'm not an Azuki holder. That's not art. That's my style. I buy things that are my style. Usually I don't buy NFTs to turn profits. That's not my thing. Like I took my crypto portfolio and bought NFTs that I like so that I can enjoy looking at those versus a down portfolio, right? And so I'm very strategic what I buy. I'm not an Azuki guy, but from what I understand, if you look at the optics of selling out a collection at 2 ETH in this particular stage of the bear market, that would be a success. But when you look at the actual art, which to me was no different than what they had done before, the whole kind of what they had this big party, right? Like on a Friday, and they got everybody excited. And then the mint was either like on Saturday or Sunday or whatever. So people were all buzzing, super excited. And it turns out to me that the art was shit. It was really nothing different than the original Azuki. Plus, you got to take a look at, the Azuki collection is way down. The beans is way down. Everything that these guys are doing is way down. So like, I don't think it was the right time to drop another collection. I thought it was a total money grab, and it's just a way to take more liquidity from your community. But that's my opinion. I'm not an Azuki holder.
Well said.
Workout time.
Let's get it.
Oh, well, Jay, when you yelled over to me right before you started the show, I think we actually were able to fix the music. So I think that I have. Where is? Can you hear that?
I can hear it.
Why do you want me to do
Perfect.
it?
Okay. So what are you doing for your workout here? I gotta get my dumbbells.
Oh, it's Friday. What's a good Friday workout? Just the normal. I'm just gonna be doing curls and the things where I put them up over my head. I'm gonna do pecs, shoulders, biceps. Just trying to get jacked over here.
Push-ups. We ain't done push-ups in a while either.
Push-ups.
I'm doing push-ups. I don't have a way to move my camera.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well. All right, guys. Hey, this is time to get up out of your seat. This is our workout. Let's get right to it. This is Dr. Bruce, man, coming from the Web3 space. If you guys haven't tapped in with it, man, make sure you check out Bad Karma. Let's get to it. We're doing push-ups.
Making music you commit to. I do this for the love. All the beds that I done been through. I was born up in the mud. All the projects that ever rugged me, I still never switched up. I'ma be here to the bitter end, so get on with your FUD. It's some crypto bars I'm dropping that's been getting me this love. All them late nights in the spaces with the DJs, turn it up. See me live in crypto Twitter when Lambo about to bump. Or catch me in the dojo cypher, freestyle what I want. A reply guy buying JPEGs just end up getting rugged. Diamond handed it to zero, it's how I keep getting fucked. All the struggles I endured the last 2 years, it tore me up. But you see, I'm still standing here and I ain't giving up. I stay building through the bed, now I'm stacking up the trust. Double down, it's time to bubble now, I'm only going up. Grab the horns and huddle strong, cause this bullet.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Get them work reps in. Shoot chance.
Y'all still think this is luck. Making music.
Boy, Dan, nice job.
I do this for the love. All the bands that I done been through, I was born up.
Coming up to our last 10 seconds, guys. Get them final reps in.
I still never switched up. I'ma be here to the bitter end, so get on with your FUD. Making music you commit to. I do this for the love. All the bands that I done been through, I was born up in the mud. All the projects that ever rugged me, I still never.
Yes, fantastic job. And if we want, we can let Dr. Bruce play out. He's got about 30 seconds left in this track. It is Friday. Think about your pizza orders. And what about the thread thing?
Music just for you to listen to. Listen, boo, I'm in the mood, and this is not Dr. Bruce. This the host.
Yeah, you turned it up all the way.
Good.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh.
Man, I did while I was doing my push-ups. I don't know about you guys. While I was doing my workout, I literally was thinking of my pizza order. I was thinking of pepperoni and Caesar salad the whole time, saying you earn those slices. So that's what I did. That's what I was thinking about. All right. Threads app. Anybody who downloaded it yesterday? Guys, remember, this is Web3 Breakfast. This is a community show by the community, for the community. If you are down in the crowd and you want to participate in today's conversation, please just raise your hand. You are more than welcome to. We just have the one rule, Turbo, right?
That is right. Don't be a douchebag.
That's it.
All right.
All right. So here's my story. And I think I kind of alluded to in the beginning of the show. Threads app. Everyone's super excited about it yesterday. I'm skeptical in the beginning because this is a Zuckerberg app. Like, you think he's going to change? You think he's going to be different? No. You look at the terms or whatever, and what the information that they take. They literally take everything. everything. And if you want to delete your Threads app, guess what? You got to delete your Instagram account now. Yep. So what do you guys think? I made it 45 minutes. I made it 45 minutes on the app yesterday, and then I deleted it. It was just stupid. B-Skeet, let's go to you, and then Craig.
Actually, Craig was first.
All right, Craig, we'll go to you. And
you go, brother. No, you go, brother. I'll wait for you.
So a couple things.
Awesome.
One on the Azuki. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they released this like anime clip beforehand that was just fucking badass, and everyone was thinking the characters in that were going to be the characters in the new release. So it was going to be totally different. They were super stoked. And then it was the same art as the original Azuki's, which I disagree with you, Jay Chains. That art is fire. It's just that it's 20,000 more on top of the first 10,000. So, but they also are doing a vote soon. It might even be today to see if they want to change the backgrounds on the new ones to make them distinct. But really, it's just a watermark. It makes no difference at all. So it's totally stupid. On the Threads app, I have a little different take. One, you can delete it. You just have to manually delete every single post. That's the only way to do it without deleting your Instagram account.
Okay.
So if you did want to get rid of it, you just delete every entry you've made, and that will do it. But I have a different take on it than some people. One, I think it's like two horrible choices just because I don't really enjoy what's going on Twitter these days all the time. I love Twitter, by the way. I'm totally dedicated to it. And they released Threads early. They weren't even supposed to release it till the end of the month. But I think with all the shit that went on last weekend with people not being able to access Twitter, they were like, let's do this now and fuck with them. But my other thing on it, though, is Musk is saying that they stole all kinds of talent from him and that talent made Threads. Well, yeah, he stole it because you fired everybody. You fired all kinds of people and then came out and said, I may have made a mistake because those are really talented people. And then they went to work for your fucking competition and you're like, that's not fair. That shit's funny.
Do you think that they were should they have been under non-competes though? And that should have prohibited them from basically making a copy paste or?
Yeah, if you thought that shit through, they would have been under non-competes, but you just walked in and said, you know what? Everybody's gone. Take off. Kick rocks. You didn't even give them any kind of like time to do it. You straight up fired everybody. And now you're mad that they went and worked for someone else?
Yeah, I guess.
But didn't just fire them. He humiliated them. He like embarrassed them and stuff.
So it's funny to me that he's now upset. Well, dude, he would.
No, I'm saying like
get out.
Sorry. Yeah, like you humiliate these people and then fire them, and then the competition. Of course, we're gonna go to the competition and just like do whatever they want to see you get destroyed.
But okay, so
I mean, it's such a terrible way to let people go.
Everyone knows that you have one chance to make a first impression, right? Why would you launch the fucking app if it wasn't ready? You have no DMs. Literally, it is no different than Twitter. Plus, there's no thread spaces. You can't do an audio chat. So if you can't be better than your competition, why would you launch? Because to me, it was too rudimentary. And plus, the amount of people that were posting that their posts were getting flagged. And somebody posted a meme saying Threads was better than Twitter. Changed my mind, and it was removed off of Threads. Like nobody.
It wasn't about what he posted. Apparently, it's the guy in that thread. Every single person who posted that person got their thread taken down.
That's weird.
Not even about the meme.
Okay, well, does that cause anybody that's in crypto and for maybe more little decentralization and maybe not so much censorship, like doesn't that cause anybody concern that because there's a picture of a guy in a meme that they're going to pull it off the app completely? That just seems a little too extreme.
To a lot of people, that's the selling point of this, is that they have actual content moderation.
So it's the Snowflake Patrol.
Pretty much. So I heard that they have an entire like list of blackout people that try to sign up. Like as soon as they sign up, they get completely decimated with like all of this just stop, like to where they can't post and like all this other stuff. I'm hearing all these things happen that some people are signing up and they instantly are getting just like red flagged, and it's very interesting to see.
We would assume that guys like Trumpsky, he would be one of those that's not even allowed to put in an account. Let's see. I actually forgot, KT, you had your hand up well before everybody else. So let's go KT, Craig, and then American.
So my first two things were from the beginning of the show, and I'm just gonna let those dogs lie. Everything on Threads, though, I mean, it's Facebook Lite with the Twitter skin, with the same rules of Facebook. It's why folks, like a lot of the folks in this room, most of the things we would want to talk about, like all of our conspiracy theories, would get chucked out the window. I didn't even bother installing it. I started seeing those things, started talking to a couple people, and they're like, "Yep, all the community standards are still there from Facebook and everywhere else." And I'm like, "Oh, I better not open my mouth. I'll get in trouble. I didn't even bother." Especially when I saw that they're going to take everything in your firstborn and then keep it after you delete the app. So that's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. Let's see. What was it, Craig, and then American, or did I flip that?
That's all right. I think it was more a reactive response to everything that was going on with Twitter. I don't think they intended for it to be as crappy as it is. And like, look at the history here. Look at what Instagram were reactive. Can you hear me all right? Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sorry. Instagram were reactive when OpenSea turned to shit, right? And they dropped an NFT marketplace in a reactive way, right, to try and capture part of that market. And what happened to that? 8 weeks later, they deleted it and they removed it completely from Instagram. We're going to have exactly the same thing here because, like, I've seen.
Craig?
We've lost Craig.
The Ruggler strikes.
Craig, you gotta change toilet paper rolls, bud. That one's worn out.
Dang.
Yeah, well, right at the end of what you were saying, KT, you did speak into your toilet paper roll, so maybe it booted him. Maybe it had something to do with like when Turbo is in Nashville, he's got to talk to the little tin can with the string on the side. So maybe it was that same kind of thing happened to you guys there at the end. Craig, are you back with us? Not yet. All right, Beastie, go ahead. Or shit, I'm sorry, America.
One thing, I'm sorry. Do you want to go, America? Hit it.
Confused who's going, but let's go. And I think in Australia they have one giant cable that connects the whole land to the internet. So maybe it's some of that, and that's why Craig's having problems. But what I wanted to say is, what the point you brought up about Threads, about the censorship, and that's my biggest beef. I'm anti-Meta and everything they stand for. They've proven over the years that they censor everything and anything they choose to. So why would I sign up for yet another platform that they're making? Like, I think they're trying to find ways of remaining relevant long term, and so now they're trying in desperate ways to copy other platforms that are succeeding. The thing is, Twitter, I think, is about to start evolving further with everything Elon's been building and pushing for, and we know that there's new rollouts happening as we speak. So to your point, they rushed to get a product out that's not only not ready, but copied an old product that's about to get an update. So all the best to them, but I don't see them being relevant in any major way to where people rush there to hold presidential nomination speeches and have breaking news on there as we do on Twitter.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. I think at some point, maybe the whole goal was to lure the Zuck into launching his, and like you said there, Musk is ready to pop out via Twitter 2.0, and it's just going to wow everybody, and Zuck will be like, shit, look at this crap that I just put out, and now they're living in 4D chess world. That's what I hope for.
He did the same thing with the metaverse. How many millions of dollars did he invest into building a metaverse, and then he's like, oh, I'm shutting this down and I'm moving forward, and fired everyone, and like, to hell with the millions of dollars. So he's not doing anything different now.
Billions,
it was 13 billion, just so you know.
And hey, here's the whole time. At first, I was anti what he was doing as far as building out the metaverse. But at the end of the day, I think we all kind of came to the same conclusion: was, hey, if someone's going to spend the money, let this fucking idiot do it. Let him try to build some of this infrastructure, because he's going to put a lot of money into it and figure it out. And then we can take what we like and what we don't, and then make something that works better for us, right? And I think let him spend his money, because he had the war chest. It was something he wanted to do, his little pet project that ultimately the shareholders and the other executives said, hey man, you got to hang it up, like it ain't happening. And so hopefully the same thing happens with the threads. And hopefully, again, my whole opinion is that social media needs to go somewhere different. And we're going to get to more of these hands really quick, but I do see down in the crowd. I just want to make one quick announcement. We got our friends over at Ethereum Towers down there. And why I think we have to take social media to the next level, and with Craig, like what you guys are doing with the metaverse, with like what Ethereum Towers is doing with it, is it's giving people an opportunity to go there and be with the people that they want to be with there, right? So we're going to have an apartment. I'm going to create a studio there, and you have to have an Oculus to be able to utilize this. So make sure if you guys have the Oculus, let me know. But we're going to start building. I got the apartment yesterday. I got to start building on it now. But we're going to build a recording studio in there, right? And then now you could come in and watch this show live from there. We got to figure out how all of this is going to work. But this is something we're going to be doing over like the next couple of weeks, and I'm super excited. We're going to have them on the show. We're going to have Shane come up here and talk about the development, what's going on. There's a mint coming up. I think it's next week. So I'm really excited for that whole aspect of where we're going, not only for the show, but as we start to transition into these social hubs, community hubs, where we can go be with the people that we want to be with, versus where we are now, where you've got to fight trolls and fudsters and all that stuff. And I think that's my personal opinion of where these social integrations need to happen. But we'll the time, the test of time will really be the one to tell us that. So Craig, we'll go Craig, B-Skeet, KT.
Yeah. I was just going to say, before I rug again, I'll give you my last 2 minutes. I was just going to say, in terms of what B-Skeet was talking about with the lawsuit, and I think I read the documentation today about the lawsuit that Elon's going to put forward to Meta, right? And it is based around the employees, but it's based around employee confidentiality breaches and the intellectual property from Twitter that they've taken with them as former employees of Twitter, that has actually can be proved that it's been used in building threads. So I think that's where this lawsuit comes into play. It's not about poaching the staff that he sacked. It's about the information and the knowledge of Twitter that they took with them, that they've implemented into the Threads app. So I think if it comes down to that, there's privacy laws against employees taking confidential information from companies. So I think if he pushes the lawsuit, he'll probably win.
And do you think that would cause a cease and desist, because it ultimately the platform was built off of stolen IP?
Well, that's what he's issued. He's not issued a lawsuit. He's issued a cease and desist. Yep. So if that goes, he's got to go through the cease and desist first, and then if Zuck wants to fight it, or Zuck's lawyers want to fight it, then it goes to the next stage through the court system. So if they take the cease and desist and their lawyers say, "Yep, he's right, let's stop," then they'll just shut it down. But I think Zuck will fight it, but I think Elon will win if it gets to that stage.
Do you think it will ultimately be decided in the cage? Go for it, BC.
The cage is going to be so awesome. I love the cage that they basically took crypto Twitter and then ran with that on like a grander scale. That shit makes me laugh so hard. I have like 4 things I want to run through real quick, so I'll try to do each one fast. 1, Zuck trying to build the metaverse and build the end all. You don't build the end all first. You let other people build, and then you build the magnanimous overarching thing. You don't start with that. That was fucking retarded. 2, I love that I can come in here. Sorry for the word. I love that I can come in here and like chill with people that I really enjoy, that I completely disagree with. Because all of you guys up here saying how much Elon Musk has improved Twitter. Like last weekend, there were 2 days I couldn't even see tweets or respond to tweets. Like, that is not improving the platform. Maybe he's going to have something that comes out that makes it so much better. But so far, he fired all the people who work on it and then is sitting there scrambling, trying to make the app operate. What's made Twitter great to me is that Twitter was already great. He could have done nothing and it would have still been great. So I just disagree with you guys on that one, but I love Twitter. And the new app, this Threads, needs spaces. It needs DMs. But one thing I think they should have done is not made it a separate app. Like, Twitter could use a gallery, the way that they could have just attached Threads to Instagram, and then you could have had your Threads, and you also could have had Instagram profiles all in one app, so that like I could be talking to J-Chains or Turbo and then click on over and see their whole Instagram gallery and see what that shit's all about. That would have been the best way to do that.
I definitely don't disagree with you there. That would have been an improvement to the whole user experience. And I think at the end of the day, that's probably my biggest gripe of this whole thing is that I like what you said. I love Twitter. I have made it a point to make Twitter my platform for where I focus all of my attention. Right. I don't use Instagram because there's too many copycat accounts over there, and it's just not as friendly to me as Twitter is. Right. I need to get on LinkedIn, like Craig was saying. Like I know that that's the way more professional app to be using for this Web3. But it is what it is. I just maybe the desire to learn a new platform or to start fresh is just not something I'm into right now. And maybe other people feel that same way. I'm not sure. If you do, please let us know. And if you are down there listening and you downloaded the app and you're having a great experience, come on up here and tell us about it. Like I think the more information that we can share with each other, the better to better understand, like what we're looking at or where this thing's going. But to me, again, my stance was there was nothing new, there was nothing sexy, there was nothing wowing, and so at this point, like, nah, I'll hold off. And now, if that means that I screw the pooch and this is where everybody shifted to, whatever. We'll take that.
You'll still have time, dude. It's not like they're going to close it down in a week.
No, that's a good point. That is a great point.
Also, we didn't say Twitter's fixed. Twitter still stinks, but he's been working on making it better. I don't think he's done that.
And in perfect fairness, I think, what we saw last week when the app went down and when people were throttled and they could only see a certain amount of posts and stuff, that was a direct relation. That was direct correlation to what Zuckerberg was doing, what Meta was doing, scraping the data, stealing the code, stealing whatever they were stealing. And Elon had said something yesterday. I didn't read the whole thread, but there was some kind of post about this whole thing. And Elon's response was, yeah, but cheating is not okay. And so I feel like Elon feels slighted on this whole thing, and that's why he throttled everybody last week, because they realized something was happening. Now, whether that's 100% truth and transparency, I don't know. We'll just have to take his word for it until other was proven. But from what I understand, Beasky, that's why things went down last week, is because they realized that the system was being breached by Meta.
Yeah, so
just
they
to
went ahead
clarify,
and throttled everything down so people couldn't, because they basically have to pay for that data transfer, and they don't like having to pay extra cash for you to steal their information. That shit makes sense, but at the same time, the app, it hasn't been running super smoothly since Elon has purchased it.
Listen, I will 1000% agree with you. There were days where we couldn't even launch a Twitter Space because the app was unusable, and I think there was a 2-week period where I think it was probably in its worst condition, and it was maybe like a month and a half after Elon took over. So it was very shortly after things kind of did start to deteriorate a little bit. But I'm with American. I really hope, with what he promised, integrating the video, and there's a long way to go with that still. Integration of paying creators more than what a YouTube person makes. I do have hope and faith that Elon will bring those to fruition for the creators, the people that have chosen to keep Twitter as their home app or their place of business, however you want to look at it. That's where I am at on this particular issue. Go ahead, Craig.
I think his statement, I was just going to say, I think his statement was something like, competition is fine, cheating is not.
Thank you. That's what it was. And that's what he said there. Grateful, let's go to you and then KT.
Yeah, I agree with Beasky on how Zuckerberg's approach with Meta was built out. I mean, he pretty much dropped the ball in a major way. But I really think that with Twitter, there's like technical aspects of it that can be improved, especially with like how the algorithm works and everything. I learned a lot of crazy stuff actually about the algorithm just by following Zero. He puts out a lot of content about specific things that you would think would increase like your engagement and other normal things people try to leverage when they're making content that actually hurt you, because Twitter's algorithm is so ridiculous. But I think that Elon improved the platform a lot with just him coming out about free speech and cleaning up like censorship of things, unless you're basically like an evil piece of shit, like how he immediately was like, look at all these pedophile accounts that Twitter's censoring all these things that shouldn't be censored, and then they're letting all these pedophiles and all this other bullshit just run rampant. And I think this kind of goes back to like, not to get into COVID or anything again, but just censorship in general started being pushed in a huge way across pretty much every platform, especially Facebook, but also Instagram and even through Google. And I think it's really important that somebody like Elon Musk, who's so outspoken about those types of things, is running a platform like this, because when you get into, when you get to the point where, which things were getting close on the topic of COVID, but when you get to the point where basically all of your information is being suppressed and the information that you're allowed to see is all curated by narratives that are controlled, that's very dangerous territory for society as a whole, and it starts to push the envelope on communism a lot. But the curation of information that people are allowed or not allowed to see, basically under the guise of what's good for you, and because Big Brother knows what's best for you to know, is just very dangerous. So I appreciate him being outspoken about that, but yeah, I think there's a lot of technical advancements and things that can be solved here as well.
Love it. Let me ask you a quick question. It sounds like it's raining where you are. Is it raining or hailing?
It is raining, yeah. I'm just sitting in my truck right now because I'm like, damn, dude, I don't want to go inside. It's raining a lot. I got tools and shit to take inside, so I've just been sitting in my truck for like an hour.
That's awesome. I was wondering, because it definitely sounded like rain, but I just couldn't tell. KT and then B-Ski. What you got for us?
Yeah, while you were talking, I had an epiphany, or not epiphany, but a thought. So with Threads just being a Twitter knockoff, but it's still the same echo chamber as all the same people that are in Instagram and Facebook and all the other highly censored social media. It sounds to me like they're diluting their demographic, where Twitter pretty much has solidified it, where here all of us can talk or do whatever we want, and everybody's gravitating towards Twitter because we can. And it's added, Threads has added an additional megaphone for the people who want to yell and scream, and it's kind of giving too many places for that same group to just run around and do crazy stuff, which is fine, but that's just a thing of my take. But I also just saw the thing. If you take the new Threads logo, it looks like an embedded 666 in the logo. I just saw that just now. It's very interesting.
KT?
Yep.
Does it really?
Yeah. You take the white line is the first six, the black inside is the second one, and then the center is the third one backwards.
Yeah, honestly, man, I like what you posted in our group better than that. That it looked like Homer Simpson's ear.
Yeah. No, this
Google.
is just something I just saw now.
Yeah. That's borderline. I would say that the Homer ear was a way better kind of integration there, which is really funny. I actually was just like, no fucking way. I had to Google it. No, it's not in the Homer ear. But I thought that was really, I thought that was really funny. Beasky, go ahead.
Again, three things. I'll try to be super quick with each of them. One, what you just said made me think about, we do need a new term that is like Pluto communism, because we have what's essentially being communism put forward, but we're being controlled more by the people who own the social media apps than we are by the government at this point. And I know the government's trying to get their fingers in that pie, but right now the pie is wholly controlled by Zuck and Musk. And we're basically having to choose between the two of them. I half agree with what you're saying about censorship and Musk, because on one side, he's allowing more talk and free speech. On another side, he's literally censoring reporters and journalists. He's censored that kid who put up a map of, like, it's a publicly accessible map of like where airplanes fly. And he's like, but not my plane. So I do agree, but at the same time, there is a sense of control that's being exerted by Musk and by Zuckerberg that is 100% censorship. It's just censorship the way they specifically want to do it. Third thing, real quick, when I was on that Threads app, I came across a person I used to follow who does like disinformation videos, and she has this like pyramid of conspiracy theories. And since I've been talking to you guys, I was able to identify so many more things on that pyramid of conspiracy theories that made it so much more enjoyable that I'm like, I never stopped and looked at the Tartarian part of it before. Like, totally love that. And lastly, the woman on the plane. I was watching this thing about the woman on the plane who claimed she saw lizard people like sitting next to him. He's not real. There was one part of it that really tripped me out, and it's that she makes this hand symbol, which is like a secret society hand symbol with both hands. And there's no way you accidentally make that exact symbol. That shit was totally trippy. And I think your conspiracy theory brains are starting to bleed into me.
Dude, I'll tell you what, my timeline is now absolutely filled with truth seekers, as we'll call these accounts. I'll tell you what, definitely changed my entire algorithm. It is nothing but crypto Twitter, fight videos, and conspiracy theories.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's really funny.
So here's the great thing.
So
you're going to have pretty soon with Zuck and Elon, you're going to have all three in one video.
Yeah, because they're about to fist fight each other.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Elon. I hope he wears. I hope he wears them out.
I saw he's training with GSP now, which will be good. All right, so really quick. We have had a great conversation so far about this Threads app and kind of the differences, what we like, what we don't. Let's get our next workout in, and then for the next, what I would like to change, not really change the topic to, but like we start to talk about now is what can Web3 do better? What can we do as companies, like with Craig, like what you're doing, with a metaverse, or even if Ethereum Towers, if they're still in here, now it looks like they hopped out, and I don't know if Shane will be coming back in or not today. But anybody that is got an idea of what these Web3 social platforms are doing, let's talk about that, because I think Web3 has the opportunity to improve the user experience and to improve this whole movement together that is what social media is. And again, I will go back to community development hubs or community engagement hubs, where we log in to our communities versus just a site where there's the people that you've got to fight. You see the fighting videos or the almost death videos, or the fudsters and the scammers and all that stuff. Like, we can eliminate that shit if we give ourselves, and I don't want to say closed ecosystems, but if we find ways to really just build our community engagement centers, right? And then we pillar them out, however, as long as you can get in and out of interoperability to the other pillars that are, if you're not into this particular NFT collection, or if you're into only crypto, it doesn't matter, right? Like, the whole idea is, how do we become more seamless, but really kind of section ourselves off with the people that we want to be with, versus just this open world of idiots, because there's a lot of idiots out there, a lot of idiots. Anyway, so that's the conversation for the second half of the show today. And so it's time for a workout.
All right, it's that time. Let's go ahead and get up, grab our weights here. We're going to get right to it. We got Nessie up in here. We, whatever you're going to do, whether it's just standing up, whatever it is, guys, it's your chance. Healthy minds, healthy bodies, healthy portfolios. Let's go.
Hey, projects getting pumped, just to end up getting done. What we doing? Hey.
This makes me think we need some more music too. So guys, if we send us some track links.
I'm trying to onboard all my haters from Concord to Top Boy. Do it, cause Dylan never got more. It's all love. We got to lead by example because it's all us. So what is we gonna do? Seen a lot of crooked things in my time. Deals over my time. Best friends split over fine bras. End of the day, we all each other's lifeline. Cause what's the point of winning without someone to share it with? Always spread the love no matter how rare it get. Used to rock the heavy nowadays, I ain't care if it did. I'm making music for myself, I don't care if it hit. I'm just sharing the clips. Got a match, what happened to that boy? Lot of pain in my heart, what happened to that joy? Had to tap back, didn't want to lose that boy. Lot of black man chatter, I hate to hear that noise. So what we doing? What we doing? Are you saying wag me, but you laying bad seeds? What we doing? Projects getting pumped, just to end up getting dumped. What we doing? What are we doing? Got the whole space jumping, but they never give us nothing. What we doing? What are we doing? Tell me what we doing. What we doing?
Let's do this last reps in, guys. Bring it on in. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. And 3, 2, and that final curl of the coffee right there, Jay. You got to get that final lift in there. Friday. This is a show by the community, for the community. Jay Chains and I, we are community members first, doing our thing as well as 7 and the whole Web3 breakfast community. So, guys, we appreciate y'all being here. If you could, retweet out the space. Let's go ahead and get into the second half.
Love it. All right, what can Web3 do better? What can platforms in Web3 do to improve the user experience, the community experience, I think just the overall experience? Let's go KT and then Beasky.
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest detractors for what we're doing in the space and trying to build up the engagement is there's this focus or this mindset of, go buy the thing and then join our community. I think it's backwards. I think that platforms that are building stuff, us, Metarides, the towers, all those folks, build the thing, let the people come play in whatever fashion that means. Is it a game? Is it a community? Is it a whatever? Let them come in and then say, okay, that's the front door. You want to get into the club. You want to come in and do everything. Here's the NFT you buy or whatever. I think that the sheer focus on the financial side of it is too strong and people can't overcome it. So we flip it and we focus on the engagement, focus on building communities, focus on doing what you and Turbo are doing here in Web3 Breakfast, where you're just getting people in, having conversations. You focus on that side of the house first, and then people get engaged and they'll become cool. Because if you drop an NFT project, I bet you most of the people that come here would pick that up pretty quickly, just because we love what you're doing and we know you and we know what's going on. So if the community as a whole, the Web3 community, flipped it that way, I think that they would do a lot better on bringing people in from the non-Web3 community, people who aren't in here and aren't doing crypto and NFTs and stuff. Because you build a relationship first, then you sell the thing instead of the opposite. Otherwise, it's just transactional. And that's where you see all the people coming in just looking for the quick pumps and dumps.
I like that. And Beaskeet, I'm going to come to you next, but I'm going to ask you a question based off of what KT just said. What would be your suggestion then for, and we'll use, the example of Web3 Breakfast. How do we get normies from Twitter to come here and learn about Web3? If this is a place for people to come and learn and they could feel like they could ask questions, they're not going to get shit for it. How do we appeal to the Web3 people? How do we get more people in here that, that want, or maybe curious, right? Or they want to learn more?
It's the long play. Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Go, bro.
No, he asked you the question. I just realized it as I opened my mouth.
I'm glad you asked, because that's actually what I came up to say. But real quick, first thing, you're totally right about the idiots thing. I personally have a theory that at least 80% of people are trash. And I think I'm being generous with that. But I will say that Web3 actually has a greater percentage than, IRL. Let's put it that way. Like, I actually think there's less trash here than anywhere else, even though there's still trash here. But in answer to your question, that's actually what I raised my hand to say. We need to stop trying to sell crypto and Web3 because crypto and Web3 are what we're selling. There's a reason we're all still here. I hang out on Web3 Breakfast every morning, and every morning it's a good conversation. Not I hang out on Web3 Breakfast and I'm learning stuff about cryptocurrencies and technology. Like, that's 100% what we need to do, is sell the reason we're here. And we're not here for, we may have come in because we heard we could, fill our bags, but we're not still here for that. We're here because we're having a good time.
I love that, Beaskeet. That gets me excited when I hear that. Go ahead, Turbo.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I love that, and that really kind of looks at, like the chain labs and how, we set up, the different structures of those classes, right? Like Web3 Breakfast right now, we've been here, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very different community. I think that there's a place for having like a different show where it is Web3 technologies and it is a different format and stuff like that. And I think the Web3 Breakfast just becomes like a hub for people to be able to come and say, dang, like, I share in common that, whatever, add in whatever it is, right? Like whether it's pasties or, wherever it goes. And speaking of pasties, I see Sapphire with their hands up. Sapphire.
What in pasties did I have to do? How did you know? How'd you know?
I think that takes about 2 weeks.
What was that?
No, I was going to say 2 weeks ago, I think we were having a pasty conversation.
Oh, like that was a good callback. Damn. Y'all memory is
nothing gets out. Nothing gets out of here. That's a lie. Everything gets out of there.
Man.
I
Sorry,
was
go ahead.
just gonna piggyback off of Bisky and say that one thing I agree with is not starting with the tech. The people that get it are already here for that reason, and they're gonna kind of learn how to navigate, even if they're novice, right? But we have to kind of coax people, right? And same thing, I think what Amazon's going to be doing is they're going to be rolling out. People are going to be using Web3, and not know it. So I feel like the best thing to do is to lead with like the more pleasure points, the dopamine hits, right? The community, the entertainment, just because we're just a generation that's like rather pay attention to like entertainment and games and stimulation versus the things that are better for us. So I agree that we need to start leading with the intangible benefits, and along the way, have these conversations about the tech and where it's going in the future, and just kind of coax people into it instead of like trying to sell the tech, because we're not gonna be able to override all the narratives and the negative things that they see in the headlines, So we may as well lead with the other things and let them kind of fall into the more logical and financial and practical aspects of the Web3 world.
I love that. Sapphire, let me ask you a question. Should I put more focus into marketing, say here online on Twitter, trying to get more attention, to come here to the show? Or you think the goal really is to step out into the real life, out into the world, and find ways to integrate this show in, like what we've done? We've done live shows in restaurants, bars, stuff like that. God damn it. Phone call, sorry. The whole idea of taking the show into the real life, does that set a better tone for, hey, look, we're having a great time, versus, hey, log on into your Twitter and just hope that you have a good time?
So if I understand the question correctly, you're saying like, do you start are you importing people versus exporting people, right? Is that kind of like where you're saying where you target the marketing?
I guess so, right? Like, what if I were going to spend, as the owner of this business of Web3 Breakfast, do I want to put my marketing money into targeted ads on Twitter to get more people to come into listen to the show that way? Or is it spend the money doing more in real life events where we can be places where it's not filled with crypto people, it's not filled with NFT and Web3 people, it is just normal people, and we're there, kind of having a good time. Maybe it's, we bring a couple Oculuses to the brewery and we're grilling hot dogs and people are trying the Oculus, seeing the show, in VR, they can sit there and kind of watch like a pre-recorded version of it, and just like, okay, this is a cool experience. I'm having a couple beers, I got a grilled hot dog for free, and now I'm testing out this VR experience. Like, does that do more good for our ecosystem, or is it just, let's just throw money and just try to pick people off in the Web2 world in their own ecosystem?
Bro, I am a normal person. I just want you to know,
I am too.
We are normal people.
I am a normal person too.
The verdict's still out on that, Bisky. I don't know.
You do look like a robot, Senator.
We're not normal.
I'm okay with not being normal. Okay, so that's a great question. Obviously, I'm but a lowly pleb, so this is just my opinion. I don't really have the answer. I would say I like the latter idea, right? Because as much as I love you all, we are kind of in that echo chamber, albeit positive and fun, and I'm loving it. But I'm tired of like not being able to discuss this with my friends and family and strangers. So I feel like the latter is going to lead to more organic expansion. If you were to focus that attention and bring in people like something that they can grasp, and then slowly, before they know it, they'll become immersed in this world. Or they might not be, they might say, hey, this was a cool Oculus experience with my free hot dog. I'll tap in with y'all in 5 or 10 years when it's more mainstream. So I think that onboarding, for the sake of onboarding, that second option is going to be ideal.
I like that. KT, go ahead.
Yeah, you're actually walking down the same road I was going to bring up. Growing out the community. In here, it's just people on Twitter, and that's a small percentage of everybody. Taking it out IRL, creating a core of brand ambassadors, following the whole first follower mentality of people who are promoting Web3 Breakfast for you because we're community members out in the real world, and maybe doing some short form content, some summarizations of the show, things like that people can consume elsewhere. Maybe post it up on LinkedIn for the professionals, post it up on YouTube. do some shorts, 5-minute. This is what we did today on Web3 Breakfast. Come check it out. And then you do IRL things, trying to get out into the communities of actual people, or like in real life, not here on Twitter. I think that's definitely the best way to go, is just getting out there. Because like so far, everybody's pretty much said we can promote all we want here on Twitter, but it's just here on Twitter. If we really want to get traction, we have to step outside that box, get on, Web3 TV shows or YouTube channels from other people as guests, getting out there promoting and enabling the greater community as a whole to get out there and promote for you and say, hey, we're, come over here and check this out. If you don't like it, here's a quick short form. This is what we did yesterday. Yeah. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. And get them interested that way.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And one of the things that we do have planned, and unfortunately yesterday we got some horrible news with one of the developers of the Ethereal, the DApp that was happening, and so we hit a slight delay there with the launch. And at the end of the day, like we as a community, we all rallied around and we had a great conversation. And we have to rally around the fact that someone's life is hanging in the balance, and that is the most important thing, right? So we take that and we move together as a community. We send our thoughts and prayers out to the dev, making sure that he is all right. He's got a family with children, but at the end of the day, like once all of that goes live, right, and then now we've got budget for the show, like what we're saying, guys, like that is literally the goal, in order to vastly improve the not so much the listener of the show, because that's not what it is. It's the community and how we can bring people into our ecosystem. But now we have that ability to do all the things you're talking about, right? We can be in real life. We can have these IRL events where people that aren't particularly in this ecosystem can come in, at least get a taste, right? Which give them a little appetizer of what we got here. Plus, also now, we can, and because I don't ever want, like, if I were to ask you guys, like, hey, can you create a short form video of Web3 Breakfast, why you love it so much? And like, listen, as someone who creates content for a living, like I would never ask anybody to create content for free. And so like, once I'm in the ability and I have the capacity to, I'll use the incentivize people from the community to do that, or where we can now like pay for an editor to create that content for us, because I personally just don't have time throughout the day to be doing what I need to be doing. And I know unequivocally that it's the Gary Vee model of the pillared content, where we've got this 2-hour show. I should literally have 200 short form clips, 15-second clips from every single show that we can then get out. And if we're on every platform, then we can grow our community in a much bigger way. But it takes to make that kind of thing, right? And I know that we're there, but I'm so excited this is the part of the conversation, because guys, this is, to me, Twitter is the biggest Web3 platform that we have. And so without any kind of Web3 integration on this new Threads app, again, this is where we are. This is my home. This is where I'm going to choose to focus my time and build my community and build this Web3 community. This is our community. I don't know why I said my community. This is our community. Knowing that that's the goal, like, yeah, I'm right there with you guys. It's all about getting the message out that, hey, if you've heard about all these crazy Twitter spaces where, people are being racist or saying stupid stuff, like that's not what we do here. There is some value here. We can start to target that message and get that out and get people that are truly interested in Web3 to come and join our community and be a part of these conversations, because that's how we're going to grow and develop and become better. And we talk about the 1% every single day. That's what we need to do to grow this community as well. So Beasky, what you got for us? That was a tangent. Sorry.
I may be kind of repeating myself here, but like, you're building something, so you have to be invested in growing the community and driving it forward. I don't. I'm consuming what you're giving out, and I feel I'm totally okay with that. Mm-hmm. I'm happy with the fact that I'm a consumer, that I'm a gourmand, not a gourmet. But at the same time, I come across so many people who like Zero, like the person who mentioned Zero's threads earlier. Zero's threads are literally about how to grow your profile, how to grow your audience. And that's awesome. That's great that he's teaching people that. But I'm to the point where this space has taught me one thing above all, and that's the sound of finesse. And I'm tired of people who don't even try to finesse what they're doing. They're literally saying, I want to build a huge audience, so I want to have a big voice, so this is what I'm doing. No, dude, if you want to build a huge audience, then tell the audience what it is you're providing. If you want to have a big voice, then say something worth hearing. Yeah. But don't sit there and tell me that the way you're going to grow your voice is by telling people how to grow your voice. Like, sell a product, not the product.
Yep. That that it goes back to that model, and we all know it. The number one way to make money online is to tell someone how to make money online, even if you don't like give away the recipe, right? It is that same exact thing that you said, B-Skeet. There doesn't have to be any kind of value into it, and that's I think that's the shit that annoys most of us. That's that's why when we when I really sat down and decided how we want to format and how we want to present information or talk about things, it was very important that there was value, that it wasn't just a idiot-a-thon, which I so think a lot of the spaces in this ecosystem are. But I do appreciate you saying what you did, B-Skeet, how you are happy to be here. I'm happy to be here, and I know that the folks that come in here day in, day out, like I can look at some of the analytics on the spaceshost.com, and we've got people that have been in our spaces in this show for hundreds of hours. That to me is something that I will be eternally grateful forever to the people that spend hours of their life here being a part of these conversations, just listening sometimes, definitely being part of the conversation as well. Sapphire, go ahead, and then KT.
No, I was just going to say, I haven't been rocking with you all as long as that. So shout out to the day ones out there. But the moment I started gravitating towards these spaces, I enjoyed it so much that I got an ultimatum from somebody that was going to be this space or the other one. And I was like, bye.
Damn.
Well, we love you, Sapphire. And you know what? It sucks that that was even something that was ever even brought up. We had you and I talked in the back channels, and that's unfortunate. And there should have never been that conversation in the first place. But I do truly appreciate. I know a lot of people in the community do. You being here, your perspectives, being a part of the engaged conversation like this. Thank you for being here. And I'm sorry that you had to go through an ultimatum like that, but we do truly appreciate you being here.
My pleasure. Plus, who else can I go to the hood theater with and wear my pasties with? I'm home, baby.
Exactly.
My God.
Turbo, I might have to borrow Turbo, I might have to borrow your Harry Potter sweatshirt.
Oh, I got you, fam.
Okay.
Especially because you called it the Harry Potter. You're definitely able to borrow it now. You know what I'm saying? So. Yo, do you remember when
Harry
Frank
Potter
saw that shirt?
Harry Potter? Which are you borrowing?
I did talk to my son about the Harry Potter. He is completely on board. He gets it now. Look, the kids aren't as swift as we were. We had all kinds of code names coming up. But now they're missing them. But yeah, Jay, definitely. Do you remember when Frank was like, that's like a gang related shirt? I was like, oh, damn, it's just Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, the manufacturer of it was. Yeah, that was pretty funny when we were laughing because when you listen, if you've never seen Turbo in this Harry Potter sweatshirt, you're missing out on something. This thing is wild. It is wild.
Wear it Monday, Turbo.
Do you have it with you?
It's in Ohio. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nah, but we'll one day.
You know what we'll do? You let us know. Let me know when you're back in Ohio, and we will title a specific show all about Harry Potter, and we can have a Harry Potter conversation. I will just sit and listen because I know nothing, literally nothing about Harry Potter.
I have a field trip for us. We can do like a Web3 hits Hogwarts kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like we can just take you and just immerse you in it. That way you have no fucking idea what's happening. And we're just gonna be so just trying to feed you all the kind of conspiracy week, but in person.
Jay, and two, look, this is gonna help out so many single people that are single men that are out there that miss the Harry Potter thing. Because in this new dating world, if you like Harry Potter, if you know about it, bro, you get instant points. You can go from being a 5 to an 8.
I don't want
just from knowing Harry Potter. I know you don't need that.
No,
I know you don't need that. But
listen, it's not that I don't need it. Mm-hmm. Literally, if I was in the dating scene, I would take the 5-point hit to not be a Harry Potter motherfucker, and that's a promise to you. That's a promise. I'll take the 5 points.
Even though it can lead to some sexy cosplay, you gotta.
Even though, because that's not my. No, I'll be a 5. I'll just be a forever 5. I will take the 5-point hit and not be a Harry Potter guy. And that's my promise to you guys as a Web3 breakfast community member is that I will never sell myself out for those 5 extra points to be a Harry Potter guy.
Now, before the conspiracy thing, Jay, you know, like you was like definitely a hard non-believer. We went down the conspiracy. It started off as one day. Next thing you know, we went a whole week. Now you're kind of like, maybe. I'm just saying, you head over to Hogwarts. Dumbledore drops by. Go ahead, Seven.
I'm gonna call his favorite book right now. It's The Order of the Phoenix. I bet you he's like, bro, have you read this book? It's gonna be great. Whitney's gonna be like, why did we do this? Because he's gonna be like, oh my gosh, we have to get this for the house, and it's gonna be like a dragon that blows real fire and shit.
Stop it, Whitney. Whitney's down there. Let's see, what did she say?
She approves of this. She approves of this.
Whoa, no.
Oh no.
Well, no. She said, I just got a text message. She goes, that's assuming you're a 10 to start with. Oh man.
Dang.
Oh man.
Shots fired. Actually, you know what? Actually, this would be a great time, Jay, because I actually have been dying to you said new music to drop Seven's like latest track. Like just a little sample. It's just a sample.
Yeah.
Man.
Play
So
it. We got to.
Yeah. So you know, like grab your honey, you know what I'm saying? It's a great time to dance around the room. You know what I'm saying? This is a banger. And let's check it out, When I Need You. Too loud.
Just to feel something. Why do I call out your name when I need someone close to me? I don't wanna have to tell you all the time. I just wanna see you. When I see you, when I see you. Why do I spell you
I ain't gonna go to all of it, you know what I'm saying? But man, I'm gonna tell you right now, with that right there, that's a Sam B guarantee.
I don't even know what that means. A Sam B guarantee?
You ain't never see Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. He's like, if you're ever in the car business, he's like, call on Sam B, because Sam B, it's a guarantee. That was his whole. So if you play that
was the one with the grandpa that was stuck in bed.
Yeah, dog. Don't look. I'm a huge Willy Wonka fan. You know that, right? That shit pisses me off. I fast forward through that. This dude been in bed 30 years. You got Charlie out here delivering newspapers. He gets a golden ticket. All of a sudden, his damn legs can work. He jump out of bed dancing and shit. He been out of that bed for a minute, bro. That shit gets me heated.
You're serious? You're right. Like I could see there was some genuine upset anger there. What was his name? Grandpa what? Grandpa Charlie? No, Grandpa Charlie?
Grandpa Joe.
Grandpa Joe.
It was Grandpa Joe. He was and this was fucked up, Jay. He was married to Grandma Josephine. And you know what I mean?
That's interesting.
And the dude that slept next to him, that was Grandpa George. And across from him, he was married to Grandma Josephine.
Stop it.
You know what I'm saying? True story, bro. Look that shit up.
That's just
I promise, bro.
Nobody. There's no way that two couples sleeping in, so 4 people, 2 couples sleeping in the same bed, basically have shared names, Joe and Josephine and Jerry and Geraldine or whatever you said. That's not a real thing. Like go ahead, Sapphire. I want to hear.
No, I was gonna say, why do you think his legs don't work? They were swinging, like they ain't sleeping all in the same bed and just sleeping. So he probably they worked during the day, and then in the middle of the night they got busy and the legs stopped working. And so don't come for Grandpa Joe. He wasn't lazy. He just was, getting busy. It in and working it out.
He's busy.
No, I was gonna say 7. I didn't know you were a hopeful romantic like that. You're gonna start calling you Don Giovanni.
Oh.
When you croon. Okay. Actually, what I was raising my hand about was I have a Harry Potter challenge. So if we can onboard 100 people to the Web3 breakfast by September, will you agree to do a Harry Potter marathon where you watch all the films in one setting and or you read the book?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. How long is the movies?
I think they're all like, I'm not gonna cap. I've only seen the first 1.5, so I'm not a stan, but I think they're like 3 hours a piece.
Eesh. Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a try. There's a high percentage chance that I'll fall asleep every time I start a movie. That's just me. But I'd give it a chance. Now, here's the deal. Because this is going to happen in September. If we have if we have everything in order, like I think we're going to have in order, this is what we do. We rent out an entire theater and we do the marathon as a group.
And we just heckle the entire time.
Sure, you could use
like the entire time. We just heckle and shit.
Are there songs that like people would like sing along to and stuff?
No. It's not like that.
Okay. Well,
we could get everybody.
Dude,
we could divide the community up into their proper house and stuff.
Look,
like I'm Gryffindor.
I say we fucking we take it to the next level and we literally go to Universal. We chill, like we get a whole floor of rooms and we have a whole fucking party at Hogwarts. I don't even think watching the movies would do it justice. Yes. I think going there and immersing him in just the what Harry Potter is, and then we do the watching of the movies, that would be probably better because then you get to experience it and then be like, oh, I get it. Instead of it being like, these movies are stupid. You know what I mean?
So is this a little foreshadowing into the future of, we'll use the quotes because of what we know it now, social media? Is this now where we get together as a community and we move around as a community to do things because we are like-minded and we are a part of this community and we want to be social together. So this is our social community, not just a bunch of people behind the screen of a keyboard of a computer.
Right, like a pack of nomads that just move around when they can together.
Gypsies. Web3 gypsies.
Damn it, no.
That's us.
Yes,
we're the
Web3 gypsies.
We got to change the name. We're the Web3 Gypsy Club.
I like this. We started talking about Harry Potter. We lost like half the room. They were like, no, that's it. Wow.
Do we get So do we get a caravan of a bunch of RVs? Or are we gonna have like a couple of jets that fly in unison, like the Blue Angels, or what's going on?
I got to jump in real quick because I got to jump off. But one, J Chains, you're killing me with. We're talking Willy Wonka, and you're like, those names are just too fantastical. Like that's the part of the movie that you can't get over, the names. Willy Wonka, the entire movie is completely out of control, fantastical. I hate things that are popular sometimes, and I will not get involved in them just based on popularity. And I had a cousin who literally bought me Harry Potter because she's like, you have to read this. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. It's too popular. And one day I had to go to the doctor, and those sad ass magazines they have, I was like, fuck it, I'll bring this book. I finished the book that day. I finished the next book the next day, and I had read the third book by the end of the week.
Wow.
So dip your toe, and I think you will change your mind.
All right. The whole thing for me, and does anybody else have this issue? Like there is a 0% chance at this particular time in my life that I could read for pleasure. I don't have the time nor the capacity for it. If I'm going to consume anything, it's going to be articles that benefit my career. And call me a workaholic, call me whatever it is, but that's just what I have the capacity for in the time. There we go. We finally got him to raise his hand, Matthew. That's where I am now. I will say
he's like, let me tell you about a book.
But I will say that I have read several pages. I have not read cover to cover yet, Matthew. I do apologize, but I have read several pages in Matthew's book, Warren Buffett in a Web3 World, and that's a perfect segue for you to lower your hand and let us know what you're thinking.
Well, we're going to GM everybody. First of all, totally forgot that I was in a speaker role, so apologize that I have not been really participating, but hope everybody's doing well on this Friday. Harry Potter is just fine. It's okay. I'm not a child anymore, so it's fine. It's okay. I definitely like people who read that book like all like in a single day. Like I totally get it. Like it's really enthralling. I listen to it on audiobook, and I've seen some of the movies. But Jay, just like one way that you could read more is just like audiobooks. Like I mow the lawn, put on a book. I take a walk, put on a book. And I don't read any of that for pleasure. Well, like it's for pleasure, but I don't really read any books that are fiction because that to me is like entertainment. It's like Netflix. It doesn't really like add anything to my personal life. So all the books that I read, you know, I'm a huge audiobook fan. I'm also thinking I've had like a number of people ask me to put the book in audio format. So I'm going to try to do an audio book for Warren Buffett and Web3 World as well. But hope you're all doing well. Just awesome to be here, and I miss you all. And looking forward to IRL stuff. You guys are just killing it. So hope all's well.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you being here. Turbo with
wrong button.
So I as you guys know, my wife and I, we did listen to the Jesus, what's the name of that book? The audio book about the
Ready Player One.
Thank you. We did, and that was amazing. That thing totally captured my attention, right? Like, and I had a great time doing that a number of years ago. But at this particular moment, like even audiobooks, like I can't work and listen to an audiobook because I have a focus issue, right? Like it's one or the other for me. Like I'm either working or I'm listening. And if I'm listening, I'm definitely not working because I'm zoning out listening to the book, because what's the point of I can't just have the background noise. And that's why I listen to music at my desk, because the background noise, there's nothing for me to pay attention to, right? Now, when it comes to driving with an audiobook, I might even find myself paying attention to the book and forgetting that I'm driving, which is not a good thing. But that's why we got the key.
Yeah, that is absolutely a danger. Like you're sitting there trying to like listen to The Shining or some shit, and you just veer off the road because you're not paying attention and you're so enthralled in the book. Definitely been there one or two times.
Good thing we've got the Kia Telluride with the adaptive cruise control, because that thing will just stay in the lanes and it'll slow. If I forget to brake, it'll slow down for me. So that's fantastic. So I guess.
One thing that I will say for somebody who doesn't read a lot of fiction, Andy Weir, the guy who created The Martian, released a new book called Hail Mary, and that book is freaking fire, man. That book is super, super interesting, and he just has such an amazing way of making science really cool and explaining it in a really fun way. If you like The Martian, the second book he wrote is kind of garbo, but the third one, Hail Mary, is a knockout for sure.
Love it. Appreciate the info.
Matthew, what did you think about Freakonomics?
Freakonomics was one of the very first books I read that got me into behavioral economics, which is really where my passion lies. From my undergrad is in econ. I love the fact that people are dumb and they do predictably dumb things. And I think that learning about that makes you really, really able to kind of see the illogical activities that people do and the irrational ways that people behave. And if you really like Freakonomics, you'll really appreciate like Daniel Kahneman and Tversky, who are the two people that won the Nobel Prize for Behavioral Economics. They've written a ton of books and articles. They're referenced all the time. Freakonomics is fantastic. The expanded version is even better. So if anybody's interested in that stuff, I cannot recommend Freakonomics.
Isn't all economics behavioral when it comes down to the fundamentals of it?
Yeah, I think that's a really fair point. I always really liked micro econ because there was like this notion of small microcosms that like are supposed to act rationally, and that's the challenge with econ, right? Is that it's all based on rational behavior, and we realize that we're not. So when you get to things like macro econ and how countries and money supply and like all that stuff, like I think that's a lot more kind of generic and social. But yeah, to your point, it's all really behavioral, and that's why I really like econ, because it's really kind of a social science, but it's also like why we're so dumb with money. And I think that that's just really a fascinating thing for us to learn more about.
I like that. I gotta actually, so something and just totally slipped my mind last week because we were doing the conspiracy theory thing, and then I just realized today's Friday. I'm going to be loading up a Twitter picker because we have got a ton of Unstoppable Domains credits to give away. I looked at my account; I've got over $900 in promo credits to give out. So we're going to be doing. I'm going to pick a Twitter picker. There was a post. I should probably get it up into the nest to give everybody a chance to do this, and we'll pick it later today. I just want to, while it was on my mind, so we're going to give 10 people $25 in Unstoppable Domains credits, so you can go ahead and get yourself your digital domain through them. And what I do love about Unstoppable, and we got to get Sandy on the show too, is that it's just a little different than an ENS domain. Obviously, everybody loves their .eth address, but with the Unstoppable Domains, they never expire, so you never have to renew it. Once you buy it, you got it forever. So I will make a point to get that posted up here in the next couple of minutes, so you guys can join it if you want to. I know that probably would have been better to do this a little while when we had more people in the room, but it is what it is. Give everybody a
the other
better
thing
opportunity.
about Unstoppable Domains that I believe is true is that you can set up your Unstoppable domain to accept any type of currency. So it's not like it's just .eth. You can have it set up so that when someone sends it to your Unstoppable domain, it'll go to your Polygon wallet, or it'll go to your ETH wallet, or it'll go to your Bitcoin wallet.
Super awesome. You are absolutely correct about that. And I think that with .eth, maybe any of the ERC20s, it may still work with that, but I'm not sure. Right?
Yeah, it just has to be on the ETH chain, whereas with Unstoppable Domains, it can be on any blockchain. You just have to set it up.
Yeah, it could be like Cardano, XRP, any one of those. Yep. All right, let me find this post so I can get it up in the nest.
Yeah, no worries. And I see Sapphire coming back up. She jumped back up here. She must have heard giveaways, and she was like, "Oh shoot, let me get back in here. See what's going on." Now, I actually, Sapphire, I really, we were talking. We started this half, and we were talking about, like what we can do as projects and things. And I forget the NFT project that you were working with, the dolls or whatever, in that space. But I thought that space was really freaking awesome. Like how you guys did that. Like you did like one little like plug, like, hey, this is the NFT project, but the conversation had nothing to do with NFTs, nothing to do with that. I thought you guys did a really great job at that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like I want to show, it's the crazy dolls, the cousins of the AKCB. Elle is Raspy's wife, and they have a lot of crossover with the projects, but I just think it's important to like build organically. Like people are gonna, basically, in my opinion, I would want personally, if it was my project, people that rock with me regardless, right? And I feel like that's how you get the loyalty. So I want to let them know, but I want them to be there because they like the people there and they like the conversations. And so that's why I think it's important to talk about what you're working on, but to not focus on it unless it's an AMA or something that is specifically meant to educate people about what you're doing.
Definitely, I love that. I think that is absolutely. I think that's the right way to do it. That was the one thing. When I came into this space, I was like, look, I want to be a supporter the way I'd want people to support my project. And I think that if any project or any founder or musicians, anybody that wants to be a part of this ecosystem, as far as like selling their personal art or music, whatever that is, it's really at the end of the day, like you have to just be the person that you want to show up to your thing. And I think people will come, and it's going to take time. I think that's the one advantage though to the threads. There's 10 million people that signed up, day one. They got into that don't know anything about crypto. There's a vast majority of them. And so I think that, not putting stuff out there to where the people are going to, it kind of sets us back. We just have to find a way to get the message to the people, even if that means using a subpar app.
Now, does anybody in this room know Tony Bravado? He's in a lot of the like the influencer chat Telegram groups that I'm in. Now, he had posted something. I don't know any of the validity to this, but he had posted something yesterday that looked like almost, like his account was, kind of like 3D'd and turned, almost looked like an NFT. And he said that Meta just onboarded, and he had his, I want to say, was it TonyBravado.eth or whatever his .eth address was. And he was saying that, Meta just onboarded, 30 million people into Web3. I don't know if is this an actual thing? Like, is there any kind of Web3 integration at all into threads? Or is it just we're seeing a lot of crypto Twitter hop over there? So maybe they might get some kind of exposure to it based on the yahoos that went over there.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to mess with it. I didn't use Instagram. Like I wasn't an Instagram user. So like I'm kind of even further behind the 8 ball.
But you like TikTok. You're a TikToker.
Yeah, I mean, like I just like to do little motivational things on there. It's like I was gonna try to do the whole like crypto. I think like I just really use my TikTok just to kind of do little videos that I want to talk to myself about. I hope that someone sees them.
Your daily affirmations that are for you, but might also benefit someone else. I love that. When I was dude, it was so funny. Like when I was making that big change of my life and where I was, you know, with the company that I surrounded myself or whatever last year, you know, I went through a phase where I was literally posting a, you know, like a mantra or some kind of thing that was for me every morning, a personal affirmation to like help me get through the day. And I would get DMs, people would post on there like, what's wrong with you? Are you in recovery? Like, why are you saying this kind of stuff? It's like, what's wrong? Because like, I'm trying to be happy, motherfucker. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I love the daily.
I know, it's a shame. It's crazy, man. Like that's where we live at. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I first started doing my morning motivations, man, like I quit doing them because no one would like them or comment or say anything, right? And then I quit doing them. Somebody stopped me, like a complete stranger, like, "Hey, man, you quit doing your morning motivations." I was like, "Who the hell are you?" He's like, "Man, they really helped me. You know, like they made a difference in my life." And you know, and that's kind of the thing that sucks about it. You know what I mean? We got to be better supporters all the way around the board. You know what I mean? If you see your people's stuff,
you got to support
like
yourself.
it. You know what I mean? Like show.
No. You got to unpack what you just said. To be honest with you, man, because you said you stopped because no one is liking it, but you liked it, and that was the most important thing. So fuck everybody else. Who cares if nobody likes your post? Like that doesn't matter. You're saying it for yourself, and if you can't save yourself, you can't save anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Big facts. Big facts. I kind of missed that part. Got tangled in the mind there, because you know. But that's the thing, right? Like, do it for yourself, 100%, right? And that's why I do my TikTok things. I'm not putting it on there. But if you see your people, just like them, even if you don't watch the video. If I see like, my little brother, he does this. He does whiskey rocks. You know what I mean? Like he enjoys whiskey and he likes rock and roll music. You know what I mean? His shows, it's fine. It's pretty good. His quality, is coming around. He's working it. I don't even watch him. I just give him a like. You know what I'm saying? Like. It's just to support him and nothing else. But I do see we have a hand. Yo, Pepe.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you living? GM, yeah. Just fucking definitely checking out Threads. They definitely do not have any Web3 integration or anything like that, and they definitely didn't onboard any 30 million people. Just a bunch of people from Instagram went over to Threads, and a bunch of people from Web3 Twitter are now trying to invade Threads and hopefully get some footing over there. And that's pretty much the story. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I don't think that at the end of the day, like, it's not really doing anything new. And, a lot of people are going there with the hope that they can, like, get some traction so they can start, like, monetizing via being, like, marketing other people's shit. And I don't really see value in that for, like, what we're doing as far as Web3 goes. I think that, like, what we're trying to do is get people to have, like, people to like harness their individual value for the things that they're creating and not be just like a giant like mouthpiece for another brand or something like that. So like and like with the way that they're pushing everything, it seems like that's literally what they want to utilize Threads for, like even like Meta itself. So I don't know. I think that it's like I feel like if it's like, at the end of the day, like go do your thing because it's gonna, what I'm saying, if you can get something out of it and get traction and like harness it, then for sure. But don't expect it to be some kind of groundbreaking new anything because it's just looking like it's just literally just used to like you can go to Instagram, you're going to go there, you're going to provide a shit ton of content and you're not going to be able to monetize that in any like, tactile way, any kind of just like easy, facile way. And, it's going to have to be a kind of thing where you draw people to your content enough for them to want to hire you to go and then build their brand or something of that nature. And I don't see that's like a zero-sum game to me. I don't know how you guys
I feel that, man. I just want to sit here and drink Pepsi, eat Taco Bell, and wear Reeboks.
I mean, dead ass. It's just like, just like you were saying, like, when like the way like you guys are putting up affirmations, you think that nobody likes to see affirmations? There's a shit ton of people that would love to see affirmations all the time. However, if you're not like, that's not what they're putting forth in their algorithm, and that's not what, I'm saying is what they feel is going to be drawing convertible dollars on a marketing level, then why would they bother to push that forward?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's their behest. It's not based on anything that's like, like equimitable. Like we're not like judging content, we're judging followers, for instance. Like your follower count gets you more presence, not the value of your content.
That's so crazy to think. And because it should be the other way around. Like it absolutely
totally should be, right? Like like how many guests you bust out every day should not be the determinant on how much traction or how much visibility that you get on a platform. It's just fucking ridiculous.
No, like the giveaway guys, like the people that just give away shit for free that, they got engagement off the roof, but like literally, or the people that only retweet other, and there's no problem with that. And I'm not like, if anybody's sitting around and all, they don't do their own tweets, they just retweet stuff. Like I get that, but that's that whole kind of thing. Like, how are we seeing accounts that get more engagement, that get more exposure,
exactly.
but literally it's just retweets or giveaways. Like there's no value there.
It's just it's a product of the environment. They're latching on to something else's value, and that will get more value and more traction than you trying to draw value to yourself by providing some kind of, content. Like I can scroll on Instagram all day and I'll find people putting out fucking whole ass skits, putting out like comedy, magic shows, interviews in the mall, all this shit all day long. There's no buy button next to any of those fucking videos. There's nothing. It's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Like, that's crazy. These people would probably, if they were able to gate this and edit it and make it like something for it's like their own little branded TV show or some shit like that, they'd be making tens of thousands of dollars a month. They'd be way, way more lucrative than some OnlyFans shit. Imagine you're doing $10 subscriptions for people to come see your little comedy thing that you do. And you have people there's like hundreds of thousands of likes and comments and all this stuff on their stuff. Like literally you can make a living off of that. And they're saying, no, actually we want to take that. We're going to funnel all that. Okay. We're going to draw that and we're going to use that for our marketing and our advertising and our stuff like that and give their platform value and give zero of it back. And you think that's going to change over the threads? I don't think so. No, I don't see it.
No, Zuckerberg is not going to change his business model because it's been pretty well and worked out well for him. So then what does it take to change that? Like going back to, Web3, like we know that Web3 has the ability to change that, whether it's more decentralized, less censorship, whatever, however we want to start to describe that. But where does Web3 take over? How do we get the market share? How do we let the people know? Hey, listen,
organization.
Yeah. Okay. Education and organization, right?
Organization. We don't have any kind of organization here. Like even look at Twitter. Look at our platform right now. Like your contacts on Twitter. How many of us have like a jillion contacts? Do you know what all your contacts do professionally? Absolutely not. Could you draw on your contacts to make like some kind of collaborative effort happen right now? No. But you'll probably collect more and more contacts as you go throughout your day and your life, right? So essentially your network, you don't even know the value of it because there's no organization. You know what I'm saying? So what we need are platforms that are actually going to create these organizational kind of like, software where we can start harnessing the value of the shit that we've been doing, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, but for 20 years of the existence of social media. Like it's crazy what we could do if we could harness that kind of like network amongst one another.
Oh, facts.
Is it the point because they want the data, because the platforms want the data, they want all of that so they can keep control versus letting us be in control of that data, knowing who we're working with, who we're spending our time with?
You fucking right. 1000%. Think about the analytics that's available to these companies. All right, like the kind of analytics that are given readily available on the back end for all these companies, as opposed to what you're given just to organize your shit and see who you're affecting. It's like, come on, it's like I don't even have the comparison can't even be made. It's like mud and diamond. It's like doesn't even have like what can I say? Like so just that alone, just you being able to see who you affect, where you go on a regular basis via analytics, data that's always there. It's data. It's just data. It's on. They got tables for it. So that means that they're sitting there, they're collecting it. You know how it goes.
Right.
And so
that's why these exist as a platform. That's why
exactly. That's literally what they're doing. That's literally they're just gigantic data filtration machines. That's literally what they are. All right. And so essentially they don't. There's no like. So if you could have that, analytical data, if you could have the means via software, because there's nothing that's not invented right now. For instance, we can all go to OpenSea right now, click a buy button, and buy an NFT. We can all go to someplace and make any kind of digital medium that we own basically an NFT. So you're telling me that can't be on a social media platform? You're telling me you can't have your own thing, can't have a marketplace? Are you serious?
Right.
That right there alone, right there, would just like allow people to harness so much of the energy that they're putting into social media.
That's really interesting.
What I'm saying?
Isn't that what Solenko is kind of working to do, to integrate all of that and make it like one-stop shop?
Sapphire, what's Solenko?
So Solenko is my project.
Okay.
Which is why I'm so knowledgeable about social media in the first place, because I've been building social media platform for the last year. And like literally, these are the things that I want to see for Web3. I want to see us to be able, like right now, we're all in multiple communities. All right. NFTs are kind of hinting at the organizational possibilities that are available to us should we kind of harness this technology and bring it to social media. All right. If we token gate literally everything, then we will be like you imagine, like, for instance, you're not getting messages from anyone that doesn't have an NFT or it's in your community or knows you for some particular reason. Or when you go to your contacts are put in an order where it's like, okay, I met this person here. You can actually put them in. When you meet someone, it's not just follow, it's follow. And then how about you input their data so you can know about who they are, where they are, what they do in relation to you. All right. Or even like a reminder of the last, like, or your new followers, people that you've met in recent weeks or whatever, anything like that. All these things that are available, literally just a UI. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like rocket science shit. This is just quite literally creating a UI that allows you to access the data that they're already getting and then organizing it in a way that so that way you can leverage it and utilize it to go and make money, which is why we're on social media. It's not like 10, 20 years ago, we were just on this shit just to be on the shit. Like that was a good time, sure. But now it's like, yeah, right. Every time you like, refollow, do this, you're actually presenting value to someone. We're not like, it's not like we know this now.
And it's not nefarious. It's not nefarious. It's already being done. You're just choosing to use it for a purpose that's better suited for you, reaching
100%.
your community.
Absolutely. That's all there is to it. You know what I'm saying? And again, like all this does is now allows things that are happening. Like for instance, you see all these kids making skateboard videos. You see people making all these skits and all that stuff like that. Now just apply a DAO to that. So now all of a sudden now they can take funds, they can make it, they can raise it, they can pay for editing, they can pay for better equipment. Okay, they can do all these things amongst one another by utilizing Web3 technology that we're utilizing right now. You know what I'm saying? But right now we're kind of utilizing it in a vacuum instead of just applying it to things that are literally right here, day-to-day life kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like this is something that moms can create a DAO for their fucking cul-de-sac so they can get supplies for shit and emergency whatever, anything. Literally, dude, like this shit is applicable and it should be at people's fingertips. But instead, it's just sitting over here on these little private, whatever, Web3 projects that really aren't doing anything to integrate this shit into people's day-to-day lives, like social media could. Social media is basically, for me, I think as far as like, when you're talking about like what Web3 could be utilized and integrated into, it's it, as far as I'm concerned, when you're talking about an immediate use case, not something that takes years down the line, but something that quite literally can be done by just a bunch of people getting together and developing that shit.
Come on. I planned it to the top, but honestly, I think you need to tap in with J-Chains and Turbo on the back end and apply to talk about your part, what you're working on, because I feel like this is a practical use case of the saying that your network is your net worth, right? And we all probably have $1 million networks and we don't know it because they're not organized and we don't have an easy way to leverage it. So I would encourage you to apply to get on here and talk about it in more detail at a different time.
Yeah, 100%.
I love that. I love that. Let me ask you a question, because you were talking about token gating, and to me, I love it, and I think it's revolutionary, right? And but what I just don't know we're there quite yet, and why I say that is that I'm part of the Schiller platform, right? And I've got the early access there. We can start streaming. I really want to take advantage of the token gating aspect of that, just to test it out to see what it's like, right? And so I went to the founder of one of our favorite collections, something that I'm a community member of. And his response was, "There's a 0% chance that I'm connecting my wallet, with my NFT to that." And I understand why, right? And then he also said, like, and I would never expect my community to do this either. Like, it's just not on brand for what we're doing. So while I think this is absolutely revolutionary to how we can link up with our communities, link up with our like-minded people. So whether it's, all the grant or the grant writers, or, all of the social media developers, whatever your ecosystem or whatever your pillar is, like, you could be a part of this ecosystem. But how do we get people to stop being afraid of connecting their wallet to do a token gated process without thinking that, okay, I'm just going to get drained. They're just going to drain my wallet because I'm connecting. People are just too afraid to connect their wallet. And I understand the whole just read versus write before performing contract abilities and stuff, but I think people, it's just, are we there yet? I guess that's my question.
I mean, we might not be there on a grand scale, but that doesn't mean that we're not there on a small scale. And to me, it's not really about like trying to like arguably convince people something's better. I think that that's like a waste of time. I think more it's just about like when you create something better, there's going to be people that utilize that. And as those people utilize that thing, then they're going to be retaining benefits from that thing. And then as people see those benefits being made, people are going to want to go get those benefits too. And so it's just really about creating like a small kind of like, it's like, what is a snowball rolls down a hill and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's really just that, it's like these platforms and our concept of success, we're literally, because of just like, what we're exposed to, we're literally basing our concept on success on like millions and billions of people utilizing something. but essentially, like, 10,000 people, 100,000 people utilizing something, and paying $10 a month to utilize it, that's a success. Okay, that's enough. And that's enough to start a case for people to start seeing success. And then if that platform is successful and is secure, and then people are constantly using it, and there's no pop-ups of drainage and stuff like that, what it starts doing is it's building its own reputation. And things like that have to happen. You have to have reputations built. You can't just like throw something out there and expect everyone to just see it's great because you see it's great. It needs to be tested by the world and, go through its paces and go through the whole entire thing to prove that it is what people are saying it is. And that's
there's wallet verification that isn't based on you connecting your wallet. There are ways to verify ownership without having to connect. And that's an area where we could use more innovation.
That's another thing too. Exactly. It's like a matter of us. If that's the problem that we see, if that's a problem, then that's an opportunity for us to, make money, because every problem is an opportunity as far as I'm concerned. This is what the whole thing is. Like, quite frankly, social media to me is one gigantic problem. Like, at this point, it's just a mess. It doesn't really matter what platform you go to. Like, it's all just not really something that's made for the average user to really kind of utilize in a way that's beneficial for them. It's pretty much just draining their time and their energy. We can go into psychological studies of this shit. Like, it's quite literally just like, the time spent talking about the ills of social media are, we can do it all day. But the potential for social media, if harnessed correctly, is amazing. Like, imagine if you didn't have to just wake up and just be a fucking reply guy and GM people just to draw, and you can actually just post who you are and what you do, and that being put in the proper category and then placed in its own particular algorithmic category instead of just this gigantic general algorithm that we're seeing, then it would actually get the traction it deserves and be seen by the people that want to see it, not just thrown into the general feed and just, there we go. All right, I hope my post makes sense to someone. Like, that kind of thing is just like, we're looking at a very unorganized, shitty social media situation right now. And it's actually anxiety causing. That's the crazy part about it. Our anxiety from social media literally is based upon the organizational structure of it or the lack thereof, not because it's actually like anxiety inducing. But we can talk about it forever. You know what I mean? Like, I think Threads is trash, though. I'll tell you flat.
Yeah. So Sapphire said it exactly right, bro. Up in the Nest, I do have she posted the Calendly link. Please sign up for a date that you can come back and talk about this, because I love everything that you're saying and where this conversation was going. We do have to shut it down for the day. Matthew, I know that you had your hand up. So did you want to ask your question or say what you wanted to say before?
All I was going to say was that, like, I'm impressed as hell with warm.xyz as an ability for you to delegate your wallet as proof of ownership. So when we talk about those kinds of things, I think tools like that are going to be really helpful for us. And those are things that you could token gate all day. And as long as people know how to use something like warm.xyz, where you can sort of delegate your wallet to another wallet, you'll be in great shape.
Nice. All right. Well, more to come on that. Appreciate you guys. Grateful, what you got for us?
Another great morning. This has been awesome. I am surprised that we didn't have any pizza talk, though. So, I had some pizzas to throw your guys' way, but I guess I'll save it for next week. And then one other thing, I'm curious real quick, just because Nikki and Patrick are in the crowd. Are things still kind of on track for Ethereal? Maybe if you could throw up like a thumbs up or thumbs down, or if I'm not informed about something.
So I can talk to you about. I can just let you know. We spoke about it briefly earlier in the show. So actually, the DApp. So the actual DApp itself, which kind of organizes all the stuff in the background and is probably going to be. It is vital, right, to the whole operation working. The guy who was finishing that was in a horrific car accident just yesterday. And so while we, figure out, and he was part of a company, so he wasn't, a freelancer, he was part of a company. So while the company figures out, how we can, get the DApp thing rolling, I see Patrick popped up, so he could speak more to it than I could. Just a slight delay until we figure out. But, most importantly, I think that we, just make sure that we're sending the positive vibes to this gentleman and his family. He does have a family with children. So we do want to make sure that we send, the most important thing is that we send those positive vibes out into the world so that he does have a recovery. I think he is in stable condition, but still in a coma from the accident. So I see Nikki coming up too. So they have a more of an intimate conversation with the family and the company. But that's where we are right now. So Financial Freedom Day is postponed for now. But you guys got anything to say on that? Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. You said it well. The DApp is not the revolutionary technology. It's the bot behind this, and so they're not the same dev. While the DApp is how you get paid, it is essential to us launching, because launching without it is not going to pay anybody, right? So it is still complicated, but there is plenty of people in the world that can do it. If our development team that was building the bot, if the main person doing that was in a horrific accident, the project would be in serious trouble. It is not that, but at the same time, he's a great kid. He took on this role to get this out yesterday, or today was the goal, and we were on track to do that. And he was a little overworked and fell asleep at the wheel. And so yeah, he's in a coma, and he's got a family, and he's a really good kid. So we wish nothing but a speedy recovery for him. In the meantime, it is a company. It's just, it was building it was probably a 2-day thing. Getting somebody to fully understand every function of what it needs to do was what took so long. So I'm going to have a speedy session with whomever takes over what he's built so far, and hopefully I can communicate that in a way that that person will understand and be able to take the reins and do it quickly.
And we're figuring all that out today. I do have an update. I did hear from his boss that's overseeing. It's the same company that's doing our new website, that's doing our DApp, and he said he heard from his wife. His vitals are stable, but he's still unconscious. So that's the only update we have, unfortunately, for him. But yeah, obviously we felt terrible because it was the night after we had just had a conversation with him about the DApp, and we're finishing things